Hi guys, welcome to the Occasional Biker and welcome back to the garage, and today I'm going to be giving you my thoughts on the 20 Pro. So I've had this phone around 3 months, bought it in January this year. So I'll run through a few pros and cons from my point of view, what I liked and what I don't like about the phone, and you can make your own mind up whether it's the right phone for you to purchase. So let's go through the design first. I don't know if you can see that, but the Arctic White version of this phone is pretty stunning. It's got a rose gold tint to the frame and a pearlescent effect to the white glass back. So it's quite a looker as far as phones go. So the aspect ratio is one thing I didn't think I would like, but actually works really well. I don't play a lot of games or anything like that, so performance isn't necessarily an issue for me, but I do use the screen a lot because I use the phone to read ebooks and browse the internet quite a lot. So the aspect ratio on the screen was very important to me when I chose this phone. And the aspect ratio works really well for reading, for ebooks and internet browsing. So I suppose we really should talk about the elephant in the room, which is the screen technology on this phone. This is an LCD panel. No getting away from it. It's not an AMOLED screen. That is actually a bonus for me. I was looking for a phone that had an LCD panel. Notification there. As I said, I have a lot of screen on time with my phones, although I don't play games or anything like that very often. So the screen technology was actually a bonus for me. I have a little bit of a bugbear when it comes to OLED screens. The issue with OLED screens is burning, the blue pixel problem, degradation. I didn't want to sit there reading using my phone to read a book for an hour, 2 hours of the night, and have that knowledge that every time, every second I use this screen, it's going to be damaging it basically, which is a fact. I appreciate a lot of people prefer an OLED screen. I can see the benefits as far as contrast ratio goes, deeper true blacks that you'll never get with an LCD screen. However, from my point of view, this is perfectly acceptable. It's a very good panel, it's very bright, it's perfectly legible in sunlight when you turn the brightness all the way up. So bright days like we've had recently, been taking photos, bit of internet browsing is not a problem in bright sunlight. So yeah, positive for me, possibly not a positive for a lot of people. I'm willing to accept that. Probably a con rather than a pro, but it's something that I was looking for, and as LCD panels go, this is a very good one. The rest of the specs for this phone, 4 cameras, 5 if you count the macro camera, which, let's face it, nobody really does because they're not that great on any phone. 256 gig of storage and 8 gig of RAM. For the price, the specs are really good. I paid just south of 400 quid for this. I could have bought it for less if I'd not been such a pansy and wanted the white version. I had to import this from Europe, from Spain, in matter of fact, because I couldn't get it in the UK. So yeah, the base spec on these is really good. I know now that you can get one of these for 330, 340 quid sim free. So for the specs you get, this is a really good price. Lastly, about the build of the phone, build quality. This is the 3rd Huawei phone that I've had over the last 3 or 4 years. I started off with a P10, went to a P20, and obviously the Untitled 20 Pro now. The build quality of all of them has been very good. The one thing I find with Huawei and other phones is that they tend to feel a little bit hollow. They're slightly lightweight in comparison to iPhone and XR, something like that. Talking which, it's a good comparison here. So there's the size difference between the 20 Pro and the XR, and you can see if I put them on top and bottom that the aspect ratio of both is very slightly different, if you can see that. For some reason I find the slightly thinner form factor of the 20 Pro to be much more comfortable than the iPhone XR. What I do like about the XR is the feeling of weight in the hand. It's got a more solid feel to it. It doesn't feel have that slightly hollow feel that the 20 Pro does, but that's really me nitpicking. As far as the quality goes, they both feel solid in the hand. It's not like you could tell that if you dropped this one it would break and this one it wouldn't. They're both made of similar materials. It's just a feeling. So. The next thing I want to talk about is the Fingerprint Reader. Slightly odd decision when this first came out, but primarily made to keep the bezel small, and because this has got an LCD screen you can't have a shine through or behind the panel fingerprint reader, whether it be optical or ultrasonic. So the side mounted fingerprint reader might look like an odd choice, but in practice it's really good. Not just the fingerprint reader itself, but the placement. I love the fact that I can have this phone on a flat surface, and if I get a notification I don't actually have to pick it up to unlock it. I can just press the button because it's mounted on the side and unlock the phone. Very similar to my Huawei P20 that I had, only that was on the front at the bottom underneath the screen. So the advantage of doing it this way is you've still got access if the phone's flat on the surface, but you still get the slim bezels and a nice attractive design. The fingerprint reader itself in operation is pretty much on a par with all the Huawei phones I've ever had, and that's really good. Very fast, very responsive. I'll see if I can get this on the screen here, so you can see how quick it is actually. There you go. Very quick to open. The other thing to note about the fingerprint reader on these phones is that they're very accurate. I recently did a lot of manual work in our garden, some refurbishment, and moving slabs around, a lot of work on my fingers to the point where I'd almost rubbed the fingerprint off my index finger, and I was having trouble opening the phone because it couldn't recognise my fingerprint because it was hardly there, and it was quite badly damaged. So this isn't a Samsung phone. This is actually secure as far as the fingerprint reader goes. So, cameras. One of the main reasons that I bought this phone, because for the price it's one of the best camera setups you can get. Overall the camera quality is excellent, the video quality is really good. I won't go into all the specs, I'm sure you can find that out for yourself, and to be perfectly honest I can't remember off of them right now, but I'll put some pictures up, sample pictures on the video right now, and a bit of sample video taken roughly at the same time, so you can see the video quality and the image stabilisation work. So the last thing I really want to talk about is pros, the battery life. As I said, I'm not really a performance user. I don't play a lot of games. I might play the odd bit of Candy Crush or Word Search or whatever, but that's quite infrequent. I do use the screen a lot for reading, internet browsing, but the battery life has been pretty phenomenal with this phone. Most times I can get 3 full days of use out of this before it gets down to below 20, 10s, teens, and I have to charge it up. So yeah, battery life is excellent. So let's move over to the cons. First one, obviously the elephant in the room, the LCD screen. As I've already said, not a problem for me. Actually a positive. You will probably feel differently, may feel differently, entirely up to you and your preference, but it's there, and you know, you pays your money, takes your choice. Next con is the lack of wireless charging. I love wireless charging on phones. I'm not willing to pay £800,000-900,000 for a phone with it, so it's a compromise I had to make when choosing this phone, but I would have preferred to have wireless charging. So the last con, future Android updates. This phone had the update to Android 10 around 6 weeks after I bought it, after I received it. It should get security updates for the rest of its lifetime, probably the next couple of years I'd have thought. I doubt very much whether it'll get an Android 11 upgrade later this year, early next year. But then again, you could say that with a lot of phones that have only just come out. Nobody knows what's going to happen with Huawei and China in general and the global trade ban, so without a crystal ball we'll just have to see how it plays out. This phone was announced back in June, July 2019. I don't think it was actually widely available until September, early October last year. But even having said that, I still think this phone is worth buying, especially at the current price. Even when you compare it against phones that have only been out 2 or 3 months. As always, it's up to you what you think, and it's your money, you've got to decide, but those are my thoughts. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.